News 46 is brought to you by Golden Casino Group, where you'll always find great fun, good food, and fantastic entertainment, all at Gold Town, Lakeside, and the Pahrump Nugget. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight on News 46, several people are injured during a dispute.
And a pole fire causes widespread electrical outages.
News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Zach Reinert and Eunette Gentry. Local coverage from Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Well, an extremely volatile scene unfolded last night on the west side of town. It's August 3rd. I'm Zach Reinert.
And I'm Eunette Gentry.
Well, several people suffered head injuries last night when a suspect wielded a bat at a home on Wilson Road near Woodchips. The reason for the dispute is unknown at this time. At least one person has been arrested. We caught up with Fire Chief Scott Lewis to find out more.
Late yesterday afternoon, we were dispatched a report of a fight. We were actually placed in a level 1 staging initially, and then we were immediately moved into the scene where it was indicated that there was numerous people injured as a result of a domestic that occurred there, and there were weapons used in such a fashion, hand weapons such as baseball bats, things like that. Some of the people were seriously injured, so we treated it as a mass casualty, which brought additional resources, including additional ambulances. One patient was subsequently flown out as a result of the triage that was conducted on the scene. One person was transported to Desview, and then 3 others AMA'd.
Okay. There was quite a few people that were injured there. I know that the Nye County Sheriff's Office is investigating. Can you talk about their types of injuries?
Well, it's just a blunt force trauma is really what it was sustained as a result of the people striking each other with those implements.
And so the scene had to be secured before medics could come in, right?
It was very fast moving. That was a very dynamic scene. Sheriff's officers did a great job. They came in, the deputies squared it away. They brought in their sergeants. So from a safety standpoint, it was secured in very short fashion, which allowed then our troops to come in and take care of the business that we needed to.
There's a lot of people standing around. Did they have anything to do with the scene, or are they just onlookers?
Undetermined. The Sheriff's Office is actually investigating the nuances of the incident. Our job was simply to treat and transport those patients.
In a scene like this, it's probably a good idea to stay back because you don't exactly know what's happening, and people are passing by and kind of seeming to look on to what's going on.
You know, quite frankly, we're observing and numerous people are starting to follow emergency vehicles around the valley just to see what's going on. We're not going to tolerate that, and we will exercise all options available to us to make sure, because our job is to make sure a scene is safe. And people who have just decided to come out and do it for whatever reasons, their safety is paramount, and that includes not allowing them to do that.
A downed power line resulted in a much bigger problem Wednesday night as the pole caught fire off East and 2nd Streets.
We had a power line failure at some point. The line draped down over a secondary power line, and as a result, there was a series of loud, dramatic arcs. And between 2 sets of power poles, Valley Electric was called immediately. While they were responding, we were experiencing some weather, including some wind. The top of the 2nd power pole also had a secondary failure, which the integrity of the top portion of the pole became in question. It actually started disintegrating, starting to fail, and actually starting to come down. So we received numerous reports about the outage. We were in communication with Valley Electric and their dispatching system. We had our resources on location creating safe areas so that people wouldn't go underneath those particular lines. We also had a dispatch report that someone may have experienced a problem within a closely located trailer, that being a hole possibly developing in a wall from the electrical failure. That was investigated by additional crews that were brought in. It was determined to be unfounded. So our main focus was to create the safe area. Valley Electric came and did their job. At one point we were called back because a fire that had developed on that 2nd power pole reignited. Our crews came in and did standby.
All right. And then Valley Electric even went up there and to extinguish the fire on top of the pole. There was a point there where you thought you might have some other lines coming down.
Yeah, there was the cross members on top of that utility or that power pole had been compromised. It was starting to come down, so they were in close proximity to other, transecting lines up there. So Valley Electric came in, did a great job. They initially extinguished it using dry chemical extinguishers because the lines were still energized. We will not utilize our hose lines on any kind of environment like that. Our job is simply to make sure everybody's safe.
And especially the people who were driving through that area under those lines, there were some tense situations there.
Yeah, it was tense. It's always, again, we're talking about vehicular and pedestrian traffic, and once we get on a scene, it starts attracting additional attention. So sheriff's deputies responded, and I believe they had an auxiliary unit in the area as well.
Do you know what caused that power line to come down?
No, it's part of the investigation. It was for Valley Electric, but I'm sure it might have been weather-related.
Well, Nye County School District students return to the classroom on Monday, August 7th. Start times range from 8:05 a.m. to 9:05 a.m., with drop-off times starting 15 to 20 minutes earlier, depending on the school. The Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies will be patrolling at each school throughout the county and throughout the school year to provide traffic enforcement and safe passage for the students. Patrols will also walk through each school periodically to provide a presence and talk to the students, teachers, and staff. During busy school hours, drivers are urged to be extra cautious while passing through school zones, picking up and dropping off students. Be mindful of school traffic zones and the 15-mile-per-hour speed limits, especially during the early morning and afternoon hours.
Well, if you're looking for a job, you might be in luck. That and more news coming up in today's Business First Brief after this break.
We'll be right back.